Good morning and welcome to a presentation about the California Mortgage Relief Program. My name is Nicole Evans. I'm the Director of Outreach for the California Mortgage Relief Program, and I just want to thank you for joining us today. My goal is to share a little information about the program and make sure that you're aware of this amazing resource that's available to California homeowners. Maybe it will be useful for you or somebody you know. So today we're going to be recording this session. So just so you know, we're going to be in a webinar mode. We received a number of questions in advance of the session. So when I get through the presentation, I'll answer some of your questions. We'll have a phone number at the bottom of every single slide that you can call if you have additional questions that are specific to your personal situation and you want to see if maybe you might be eligible. There's a phone number that a phone number that you can call Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. to answer your questions about eligibility, about whether you, if you've already submitted an application, what's the status, or a question about filling out the application and how to do it. So we have a great resource. You'll see it on every slide, so you have a chance to jot it down. Also, before I get started, I want to let you know, with this recording, we're going to save it, and in a few days, it will be posted on the California Mortgage Relief Program website. If you forgot a point that I've made today and you need to go back and revisit it because you had a question about it, you'll be able to access that. If you want to share this recording with somebody else, it'll be available on our website. And we'll be sure to let you know where that will be on the website. We'll send a notice out to everybody who registered for this webinar today, giving them a direct link to that recording. So you can take notes, but if you miss anything, you'll have a chance to go back and watch it again. So let me run through our agenda for today. I'm going to share with you a little bit about the program itself. We recently expanded our offerings of what we can cover and provide grants for. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk a little bit about eligibility. It's a fairly detailed process, but I'll give you kind of a high-level overview and information on where to find out more about eligibility. We'll talk about how to apply. We'll also talk about, I know in this space, a lot of people worry, is this real? What about frauds? What about scams? So we'll spend a little bit chatting about that so you know what to look out for and what you can trust. And then we, of course, will talk about how you can get help, as I mentioned earlier. And then I'll answer some of your questions, as I mentioned. So that's what we're going to run through. I'm going to try to keep it fairly high level. I'm going to try not to get too wonky with my language. I'll try to keep it pretty informative. And again, this is really meant to familiarize you with this program, give you some base information. If you want more, you see right here at the bottom of this slide, there's an email, a website you can go look at to get more information. There's a phone number that you can call and an email address where you can send questions. So we want to be accessible to you and be able to help you through this process. So just a little bit of an overview about the California Mortgage Relief Program. You might just be wondering, what the heck is this thing? Well, what it is it's financial assistance for eligible homeowners who had some kind of a pandemic-related financial hardship. So what happened is the federal government, when the pandemic started, allowed a lot of homeowners to hit the pause button on their mortgage and take what's called forbearance. And what that did is they didn't have to make mortgage payments in the middle of the depths of the pandemic, because so many people had a loss of income or they had health related costs or a number of issues came up. So they said, nobody has to worry about, if they take forbearance, they don't have to worry about making those payments. But later, Congress realized that at some point, that forbearance was going to end and this bill was going to come due for homeowners where they may have had several months of payments that they now owed to their mortgage company. So they created the Homeowner Relief Fund, and they provided money to every single state in America to provide relief to homeowners. And so California received the largest allocation of $1 billion. And what this is a state of California program using federal funds. It's And what they're doing is they're providing grants to homeowners that never have to be paid back. So eligible homeowners can receive a grant up to $80,000 that never has to be paid back for the different elements of the program that I'm going to talk about. So it's an incredible opportunity for homeowners to get a fresh start after some really hard times during the pandemic that none of us could have expected or anticipated. It's an incredible resource that, you know, we want to make sure everybody knows about and can take advantage of. We have to date provided assistance to over 13,000 homeowners. We have provided $350 million in assistance. There's still money available. It's available on a first come, first served basis. So that's why we're working hard to get the word out and let everybody know about this. So it's an incredible opportunity, and we want to share a little more about that with you. We think ultimately by the time the $1 billion has completely run out, and we've provided grants for that amount, about 20 to 40,000 California homeowners will have been helped. A newer element of the program is we're allowing people to come back to the program. So if you received a grant already, you can come back again and apply for additional assistance as long as you meet all the eligibility requirements. And the total maximum any homeowner can receive over the life of the program is $80,000. So it's capped at $80,000 per household. So you may have received that once, then that's all. But if you only received a smaller amount and you have an additional help that you need that qualifies for this program, you can come back and apply again. And as I mentioned, it's available on a first come, first served basis. The grants never have to be paid back. So it's really a great opportunity. And I do want to say the program is guided by requirements set by the U.S. Treasury Department. And so we have certain rules we have to follow that we don't have a choice about. So there might be some things that would cause some people, unfortunately, to be ineligible, but we just have to follow the rules that were set by the Treasury Department and by and then the rules that California put in place that were approved by Treasury. So we have to follow all of those rules, and those can be found on our website under our About section if you want to get into the nitty-gritty detail. All right, so what is it that we're providing assistance for? So there are 4 different ways that you can get help from our program. So the first is mortgage relief. So if you or somebody you know has fallen behind on their payments, they are late on their payments to their mortgage servicer, they can get assistance and receive a grant to make up for those missed payments. So you don't get just $80,000, you get whatever that late amount is. So you can receive up to $80,000 for missed mortgage payments. You also can receive assistance for partial claim or loan deferral. So some of you may have, as a result of the pandemic, fallen behind on your mortgage payments, and your mortgage servicer may have offered you the option to modify your loan and either take a partial claim or a loan deferral, depending on the type of loan you have. And what that did is it took those late payments and it moved it to the back end of your loan, but you still ultimately owe that money. You can also apply for assistance to pay off either all or part of that partial claim or loan deferral. And then we also provide assistance with property taxes. So if you're late on your property taxes, if you pay directly to your county, we can provide up to $80,000 in assistance for that. And then we don't want to leave out those reverse mortgage holders. If people have a reverse mortgage on their home and they are required to maintain their homeowner's insurance and property taxes, we can also help if they're behind on those. So those are the 4 ways. I'm going to break them down a little bit more, but just to give you a high-end overview. I will also mention on all of these, initially the program only allowed funding for your primary residence, and that's still the case. It has to be your primary residence, but now if there is up to 4 units on that property, you may receive funding. So if you live there and there are up to 4 units and you don't own additional properties, you could potentially be eligible. Also, yeah, so I think those are the key ways that we're providing help to homeowners. Now you might be thinking, all right, so that's the funding. How am I eligible? Could this possibly be for me? Well, the eligibility kind of breaks down a little differently depending on the type of help you're receiving. But overall, there are 3 key things every single qualified applicant would need to have. One is they will have to attest in their application that they faced a pandemic-related financial hardship. Now, that can be either a loss of income or an increase in expenses. So, for instance, if you lost your job or had to cut back on your hours, or you had medical expenses, you had family come live with you, whatever that reason was that caused some financial hardship due to the pandemic, that's what you will have to check a box saying, I certify that I had a pandemic hardship, and that would qualify you for the program. You also have to meet an income requirement that I'll get into and explain later in this presentation, but there's an income requirement that breaks down differently depending on where you live. And then we also, again, as I mentioned, you need to own and occupy your home, and it can have up to 4 properties on at your home. So if a single family home, a duplex, a triplex, a fourplex, all of those would be eligible as long as it's your primary residence. Okay, so let's break it down. Here are the 4 different ways we provide assistance. So I mentioned the mortgage assistance. So this is helping people with past due mortgage payments. If they would have had to have missed at least 1 payment before March 1st of this year. I'm sorry, 2 payments before March 1st of this year. So if you missed 2 mortgage payments before March 1st of 2023, you could potentially be eligible. However many months of payments you missed, up to $80,000 in help, we can help you. If you owe more than $80,000 or you're behind by more than $80,000 on your mortgage, you may not be eligible. So if there's a way you can get that below $80,000 and you work with your mortgage company, then you can come into our program and apply for assistance. So it does need to be no more than $80,000, and you must have fallen behind 2 months prior to March 1st. And then again, $80,000 in grants. Okay. I will also say that your home needs to be owned by yourself. You are an individual, not a business or an LLC. That's another requirement for mortgage relief. Okay, partial claims and loan deferrals. So this is what we talked about. Again, some people may have fallen behind on payments during the pandemic, and their mortgage servicer may have offered them the opportunity to move those late payments to the back of their mortgage. And that would be required to be paid off whenever you sell your home or refinance your home, or you just reach the end of your mortgage, like you've paid off your home. At some point, you're going to have to pay that bulk amount of your partial claim or loan deferral. Well, this program's decided, well, since we're covering delinquent mortgages, as I mentioned just previously, we want to provide equity and balance and make the same option available to people who did accept those partial claims and loan deferrals. So what we're doing is we're going to allow people to apply for assistance to cover, and in this case, we can partial pay up to $80,000 in partial claim or loan deferral assistance. So depending on what that amount is. So if you have more than 80,000, you can still apply, but we can pay no more than 80,000 of that amount. If it's below, if your partial claim is less than 80,000, then we would just pay whatever that full amount is if you're eligible for the program. You would have to apply some kind of document that shows that you accepted that partial claim or that loan deferral, so we could just confirm. Again, I'm sure plenty of you heard about the rampant fraud that people were committing on all of these different COVID-related assistance programs. And so the reason we have to, verify all of this information is just to prevent fraud in the program. This is a lot of money going to homeowners, and we want to make sure it really goes to those in needs and not people who are trying to scam the system. So we need documentation to verify. Okay, and then as I mentioned, we don't want to forget reverse mortgage holders. These are people who accepted a reverse mortgage, but now they're being required to maintain insurance on their property, to maintain payment on their property taxes. And if they've fallen behind on either because of the pandemic, we can pay for those, what they call arrearages. That's the technical word. But on those late payments, we can help take care of that if you have a reverse mortgage. So really what we wanted to do was try to kind of cover all of our bases and make sure homeowners of all types can get help with our program, through our program. And then we have property taxes. So some people bundle their property taxes as part of their mortgage payments. Those people would get help through our mortgage assistance program. But some people pay their property taxes directly to their county. And these are the people we're talking about for this property tax piece. Is if you don't have your property taxes bundled together with your mortgage and you pay your county tax office, then you've fallen behind on those payments, those property tax payments, then you can get assistance again up to $80,000. Our requirement there is you only have to have missed one payment by March 1st of 2023. So if you have missed one property tax payment by March 1st of 2023, you could be eligible to receive a grant to pay off that late property tax payment. If your property tax payment is above $80,000, that's just going to really depend on the county you live in and what the rules are there. So we have up to $80,000. And again, all of these different things I've been saying will pay up to 80 grand, but in total, any homeowner in California can only receive a maximum of $80,000 from this program. You can break it up into just one item or several items. It'll break up differently depending on the circumstances for different people, but it's a maximum of $80,000 per household. So that's really high level eligibility and information. But I know, and I'm thinking you're probably wondering if you're starting to feel like this might be for you, you're going to want more information about eligibility. And as I mentioned, it breaks down in a fair amount of detail, depending on what type of help you're applying for. And so we have an eligibility page on our website. By the way, the website is also listed at the bottom of every single slide. So on our website, you can go to the Who is Eligible page and you'll find this chart, and it breaks down mortgage assistance, property tax, reverse mortgage, partial claim, and you can see what the different eligibility requirements are. And as long as you meet those eligibility requirements and there's money left in the fund, you'll receive a grant. So I do encourage you to go there and just get a little more information about eligibility, but it would be way too much to go into in this presentation, and I would bore you all terribly. So I'm just going to ask you to go take a look at that eligibility page. But as I mentioned, one of those other requirements was income related. And so I will spend a minute explaining to you how that works. So the area median income is set by the Housing and Urban Development Program, and it's specific to the Homeowner Relief Fund that was set by the federal government. And what it does is it looks at what basically the middle income is for every single county in America. So for our state, it's just the 58 counties of California. It will vary because we know, especially in California, the cost of living really varies depending on where you live. And so this program is guided on a county by county basis of that area median income. And this program will provide assistance to homeowners whose household is at 150% of the area median income for your county. And the reason why I said household is it would include the combined income of all people living there 18 years or older. So that's really important. And again, if you have multiple properties, that would be rental income. That would count toward some of the income that they're going to look at. So I have a couple of examples here on the screen of, you can see how it really varies depending on where you live. In Fresno County, for a family of 4, the area median income is $116,850. But if you live in Alameda County, it goes all the way up to $214,200 for a family of 4. And it varies because the cost to live in Fresno versus Alameda County, which includes Oakland and many of the nice neighborhoods in the East Bay of San Francisco, of the Bay Area, it's much more expensive to live there. So it varies by county, and household size. So on the homepage of our website, if you scroll down, you can find our income calculator here, and you just have to type in the county you live in or where the property is located, the county where the property is located, the number of people living in your primary household, and it will tell you what the maximum income level is for that county and that household size. So that's a good thing to check out before you apply as well. So that's just a little bit more about the income requirement. And now I'm going to get into the fun stuff, which is telling you how you can apply. So it's pretty simple. It is all an online application process, all starting at the camortgagerelief.org website. You go there and you apply through the website. And then there is a little bit of a lengthy review process, and that requires back and forth with different parties. So there might be additional information that's needed for us to get from you, or we'll have to verify, if for mortgage relief, like the delinquency amount or the partial claim, go to the county for the property tax. So we verify the amount and go back and forth with them. But once we've finished that eligibility process and a homeowner is approved, payment is sent to the mortgage servicer or the county, and you would be considered completely caught up. So the money doesn't go directly to the homeowner. Again, fraud prevention. It goes to the entity that needs to be paid whatever that delinquent amount is, or the partial claim or property tax. So we will go, and then you've got your fresh start and you've received this assistance, and you kind of wipe the slate clean of some of that financial strain that you may have had to go through as a result of the pandemic. So when you apply, like I said, you apply through our website. This is our homepage. This picture right here is the first thing you would see when you log into camortgagerelief.org. And in the right-hand corner of every single page on the website, you'll see these 2 orange and blue boxes stacked up. The orange box is to apply now, and you just push that button and you can start your application. And the blue button is if you've already started an application and you need to get back into it, you can go straight into your application. I do want to mention that the application, if you have all your documents pulled together and you're ready to go, you can probably apply in under 30 minutes. However, you don't have to do the application all at once. You can start it and save it. The first thing you're going to have to do is to create a login and a password, so you can come back. You have 30 days to finish the application. If you take more than 30 days, it will get canceled and you'll have to come and start over again. But we really did work hard to try to make it a streamlined process. There are a number of questions. If you get stuck at any point that you're doing the application and you need help, you call this hotline, our contact center at 888-840-2594, and they can help you. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And so you can get help as you're working through that application if there are questions that are unclear to you. Again, the documents needed will really vary on what application, what type of assistance you're asking for. And as we get into the application, depending on your unique circumstance, there are different types of documents you'll have to provide. But overall, most people will have to provide a mortgage statement or their property tax bill or the partial claim documentation. They'll have to provide a bank statement. They'll have to provide a utility bill, proof of residence, and some income documentation. So that you can prepare that you would have to, you'll have to provide. So that's something if you have it on hand. And I will tell you, one easy thing about this application is you can just use your phone. You could do it straight from a phone, an iPad, or a computer. And if you're using your phone, it's really easy. You just take a picture of your document and upload it. And it's probably the easiest way to complete the application. You can also get help, and we'll talk about the different, right here, we're going to talk about the different kinds of help you can get. So like I said, if you are struggling, you can call that contact center. You can email us. We try to reply to every single email within 3 days, but it's more immediate sometimes, and you can have a little dialogue and back and forth if you call our contact center. And then we also have service providers out in the community who, if you're struggling to do this on your own and you think you need someone to help you, you can get some one-on-one assistance. You can even have them sign a third-party authorization form, and they can help you complete the application as long as you give them legal authorization to do so. And so you can either go through legal aid or you can go through community-based organizations. On our website, we have this help page. And if you click on the legal assistance with the scales of justice icon here, you'll get a list of legal organizations that provide help to homeowners like you. They can also help you understand all the options, and like if you don't meet eligibility but you're really struggling, they might have something else they can point you to. So I encourage you to look at that, as well as HUD certified housing counselors. There's a phone number here at the bottom for HUD, 1-800-569-4287. HUD certified housing counselors are another great resource. If you don't know if this program is for you, but you know you need help, go see a housing counselor. Legal aid and housing counselors are the two best resources you have to figure out the right thing to help you with your circumstance. So we strongly encourage you to talk to them if you're not able to just kind of quickly see that this is the right choice for you and fill out that application. If you can do that and you don't need the help, that's fine. We also have community-based organizations that also provide assistance. And again, there's a list of them, and they can help you in multiple languages. You just can click on that CBO button and you'll see a list of CBOs that are helping and contact information for all of them. So as I mentioned, unfortunately, there are so many scammers out there who are trying to trick homeowners to falling for their schemes. In fact, we have heard of groups that are actually trying to charge homeowners to fill out the application. We feel that this process should be free. It's a government program. People shouldn't have to pay anybody. And if people start asking for money, we encourage you to be careful, because this program is free. We don't charge people to apply. We don't take any fees. They don't get a percent. Nobody should be getting a percent of whatever the grant award is. That's supposed to be just for the homeowners and the applicants. So we want to make sure that folks are aware. We have this page on our website. If you want to learn more about frauds and scams and what to look for, that's a really important thing to do. And this program is from the state of California. It's using federal funds. It's directly for homeowners and not part of any kind of a corporate program. And if you ever have questions about a person who might be offering help to you, you can always call this contact center here at the bottom of the screen, and they can tell you, if that sounds like a legitimate path, or maybe you should try, and they can point you to a different resource that is, like I said, these legal aids or these housing counselors. Also, just important things to remember. So if you do have people contacting you about this program, this is a free service. There are no application fees. The financial help never has to be paid back. So if anybody's asking for money to be paid back or a portion of the funds, it goes directly to your homeowner, 100% to your mortgage servicer, property tax, or wherever. and not to anybody else. And again, we send that money directly to those sources just for this reason, is to prevent fraud and make sure all of the funds go to support that homeowner who is eligible and qualified for assistance. One of the things we have heard the most since we started this program, and actually from our applicants who were successful, they have said, there is no way this is real. Cannot be real. There's got to be a catch. There's got to be a catch. There is no catch. This is a real government program that provides up to $80,000 in assistance to eligible homeowners, period. So we thought it might help you to hear directly from some people who have received these funds. On the screen, there are 3 quotes from people. Angela is real. Tuan is real. Anna is real. They really received these funds. And I will tell you, if you are in foreclosure, if you are in bankruptcy, you can still apply. Nothing would, those would not prevent you. In fact, if you're facing either, we ask you to let us know when you apply, because that application will go through an escalation and get priority review. If you're days, a week, or something away from foreclosure, apply now. Get your application started, get it in, call our contact center, and they will make sure to flag that application and support you so we can get that processed as quickly as possible. There have been people who were a day away from having their home sold, and we were able to get them the assistance they needed, and their home was saved, and they didn't lose their family home. And this is real, and I'm not making it up. That has happened more than once. So it is incredible. And we encourage you, if it's not you and it's somebody you know, please tell them about this program. It's an incredible resource. This is kind of like a once in a lifetime thing. So now that I've told you about this program, I hope you're excited about it. And, it might apply for you, but no, you're not alone out there. This has happened to a lot of people, and you can help us let people know there is still a lot of money available to California homeowners to help them get caught up. So we are asking you to visit our social media pages so you can tell your friends, your family, people you know about this program. We have resources, and by the way, our program is available in up to 200 languages. So if you call our contact center, if you go on to the application, we can help. California is a super diverse state, and we want to make sure we can serve all those diverse communities. And here we even have social content available in 6 different languages that you can find on our website that you can share. We have fact sheets, that eligibility chart I showed you earlier. You could download and print it out and share with your friends and family and colleagues, and help spread the word. So before I finish, we're at the end. We've kind of got through the meat of it here. I'm going to put all this contact information I've been talking about right here on the screen for you. This is where you can apply, the website you apply to, our contact center that I keep pushing, HUD certified housing counselors. If you want to find one that helps people in your area of the state, you can email us. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love for you to apply if you think that you meet all of the criteria. So that's going to wrap up the presentation part of our program, but we did get a number of questions in. So thank you to all of you who sent in questions, and I want to take some of them now. So I'm gonna flip to that. I'm going to leave this up on the screen. So if you want to jot down this information. So the first question I have here is somebody who said they were behind by 6 or 7 payments. And they were asking if they can tack that on to the end of their loan or what they can do. So hopefully through this process, hopefully the person who submitted this question got their question answered. But the answer is you could potentially just get those payments paid off. If you meet the criteria of this program, you can apply for that mortgage delinquency. Or if you worked with your servicer and you moved it to the end of your loan, you can get that partial claim or loan deferral assistance and get that paid off. So either way, you can get that paid off. And then they also asked if somebody's getting divorced, if they can get their payments lowered. And if you have questions related to that, that's really having to do with your mortgage itself. And on all of your mortgage statements, there should be a phone number for your mortgage servicer, and that's the number to call about getting your payments lowered. The California Mortgage Relief Program, which I'm here to talk about today, really only provides that assistance the 4 ways that we talked about here earlier today. But if you're looking to do other things related to your loan, either go to your mortgage servicer, call that number, or as we mentioned, call a HUD certified housing counselor. They're very knowledgeable. They understand all the resources that are out there, and they can really talk to you about your specific circumstance and help you direct you to the right resource. And they can maybe even help you work with your servicer. Okay, the next question. What can I do if I've already been denied assistance with the program? Well, what I would say is, and this person had actually signed a loan modification. So this goes to the way the program has changed. So those people who took, we just expanded to include partial claim and loan deferral this year, here in 2023, earlier this year. And so people who were denied previously because they took a loan modification and their mortgage was no longer delinquent, come back to us, come back and apply for that partial claim loan deferral assistance. We can help you now, as long as, again, you meet all those eligibility rules. You could potentially come back. So people who have received a denial previously potentially could come back. So the 3 kind of most common reasons people have been denied previously under this program is they took that loan modification and that made them all caught up on payments, so we couldn't help them. But now that we have the partial claim piece, that's a new resource. It's a new opportunity to get a grant from the program. So that's handled. The other is if people, the other common denial is if people, if their mortgage delinquency is above $80,000. Unfortunately, the rules with the mortgage servicers is that whole delinquent amount, that amount that folks are behind, that whole thing has to be paid off in total. It can't be paid off partially. But again, if you're over 80,000 by a little bit, like let's say $85,000, sometimes people have been able to go to their servicer and work out a solution that allows them to get that amount below 80,000. And if they're able to do so, and it's below 80,000 at some point, then you can come and apply. But it does have to be for mortgage assistance. It cannot be more than $80,000. Somebody wanted to know if the assistance is available to people with a VA loan. Absolutely. VA loans are covered under this program. Please come in and see if you're eligible and apply. Some people asked if it also includes HOA fees, and unfortunately, HOA fees are not included with this program. So those would not be covered. Somebody had a very specific question related to their individual circumstance. There is a requirement about the amount of money that's in your bank account. So that's one of those more detailed eligibility rules. And if you have too much money in your bank account and you feel like there's a good justification for that, then I encourage people, and they've been denied because they had too much money in their bank account, I encourage them to appeal. You can appeal a denial. So you could go through that appeal process, or you can call again our contact center and find out if an appeal is even is a good idea, and explain that individual circumstance. So that's what we encourage you to do. Somebody asked, what's the catch? Am I going to get penalized for applying for this? Well, one thing I forgot to mention is if you received COVID-related assistance for other programs, or you receive government assistance in some other way, some people wonder if they could be eligible, and they are eligible. We don't look at that with this program, so you would still be eligible. I can't. All I can say is this government program is just a free grant that goes into your goes to pay off your late payments or your partial claim. In terms, some people wonder if they're going to have to, if there could be a tax related issue related to this grant. And we just encourage you to talk to it. We're not tax specialists, so you might want to talk to a tax professional just on that end. And then if people are waiting on a final decision or don't know what's going on with their application and they feel like it's been a little while, again, please call our contact center. They might be able to help you out and let you know what the status is. They do send, once you apply, all the communication goes through email. So once you apply, even if you're not through the application process, please check your email frequently, because if our eligibility team needs to follow up with you, that's where you're going to receive that communication. And so maybe check your spam folder, your junk mail folder to see if it accidentally got funneled in there. But you can always call the contact center and they'll let you know, like, hey, there's an email waiting for you to respond to. So if you think it's been a while, we really encourage you. That's a great reason to call our contact center. So people asked if they actually lost their home during COVID, and now they're back on their feet, but again, they're struggling to make a payment. As long as you can say that COVID created hardship that led to your situation, and it sounds like perhaps it did, then you'll have to attest to that in the application and you can come and apply. So, and again, you just have to meet those requirements, like missing, if it's for mortgage assistance, then you've got to miss 2 payments before March 1st, property tax, 1 payment before March 1st of this year. After the initial application, people are asking what happens for ongoing forbearance. Will this program continue to pay your mortgages up to the limit, or do you have to reapply? So the way, first on forbearance, I don't know where people are at in their forbearance process or timing, but you can apply while you're in forbearance. But once that late amount is paid off, you're back to zero in terms of like the amount of late payments. So you don't have any late payments anymore. I think that would end, I don't know for sure, you'd want to talk to your mortgage company if that would end your forbearance. But basically, once we get you caught up to that late amount, we don't pay forward future payments. So whatever the amount is that you're behind, if it's, $27,265, and that's the amount that the mortgage relief program would pay. We don't pay future mortgage payments. Okay. A lot of people are asking about lowering their mortgage payments. And again, anything about lowering your mortgage payments should really go to your mortgage servicer. So, or talk to a HUD certified housing counselor. I think that's the majority of our questions. So I thank you all for your time today. If you have more questions or you want more information, please visit our website or call our contact center or send us an email. We would love to hear from you and help you out. I hope that this has provided you with the information you needed to kind of make a decision about this program and whether it's for you. You can hop on and apply anytime, day or night. It's all online. You can do it at your convenience. And we hope this was really helpful information for you today. Thank you again for your time. Thanks for hanging with us and have a great day. Thank you so much.